to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such...
And it's Thierry Henry. And Henry is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. And when you need a goal, you need Thierry Henry.
Something changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent.
Good evening, one and all. Connor, we have tonight, and we have obviously the legend that is Kenny Ken. I just want to make a very quick comment. We've had a certain person back today who's been making comments and now thinks he runs YouTube, and that if I apologise to him, I'd get my intro back. Well, sorry, Pete, you don't run YouTube. And I'm never going to apologise to you because I've done nothing wrong. So there's the intro back, people. And we move on because we don't talk to children. We talk to adults that actually have a brain, that actually have content and can give actually a rational discussion. Connor, mate, how you doing? I hear your channel, your workload's going way up.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit busy at the moment with some work. So I'm quite busy actually, to be fair. So quick shout out to myself, I guess. Yeah, I do editing. I've done some work for Jez, like that intro, and work for probably some other people in the chat. I'm on my Instagram, cmo.editing. Just a little shout out there. But yeah, I'm nervous, I can't lie. The nerves are now starting to kick in, the pre-match nerves, man. And we said backstage, I think all hell's gonna break loose if we lose tonight, especially on YouTube. It's gonna be crazy, and I do want to say one thing quickly. If we do win tonight, it'll be fantastic. But the league's not over yet. Like I don't want the message to now be if we beat City, that's it. We've won the title, because we haven't. They've still got 2 games ahead of us, which means if they win them, they'll be 2 points behind us. We've still got some big games coming up. So if we win tonight, which I hope we do, please don't get ahead of yourselves, people. Let's stay into it, game by game, and we take it to May and see what happens. But we got to win first, so we'll see.
I mean, I'm starting to get a little bit tense now, a little bit nervy. And Strasbourg Steve, mate, thanks for the donation. Thank you, mate. You didn't put your comment in, but thanks, buddy. Kenny Ken. Good to have you back on, mate. How are you feeling about this game tonight?
You know what? I think what it is, I'm just taking my stride, because I think obviously so many games, right? You know, since we won the title 19 years ago, and you know, up until today, you know, so many big games, and you know, this is a very, very defining game because it is ultimately a shootout. But you know, I'm trying to be relaxed because I think, you know, we don't go in there City game with any sort of form whatsoever. We go to the City game with frustration, not so much loss of confidence, but definitely frustration that we can't keep a clean sheet and they're flying. But, you know, we should have this sort of, we got nothing to lose kind of mentality. And that's how I feel today. You know, we've got nothing to lose. You know, the fact is that if we get a point, we're still in it. If we win, then, you know, we're controls our destiny, but we still got difficult games after that. But it'd be nice for us to be, you know, on the front foot and everyone saying, you know what, we're the favourites now. And I think that's what we're going to gain from today, that the onus should be on us to lose the title. Whereas if City win today, the onus is on them to lose it as well, because we know that, let's face it, they're going to beat West Ham. Nowhere to lie. And if they play to their best ability against Brighton, who are probably still upset about getting out, losing the FA Cup, you know, like semi-final on penalties against Man United, then again, you'll put your money on City. So, you know, they're going to be controllers of their destiny. But you know what? I'm looking forward to the game because, you know, it's a massive, massive game. It's nice for Arsenal to be involved in these games. How many times, you know, don't get me wrong, it's exciting as a neutral to watch, you know, Man City have a shootout and Liverpool have a shootout, Man United and Man City. But, you know, why not us this time? Why not us, mate? Why don't we? Why isn't everyone talking about us? It's nice to watch the TV and see, our fans on, at Euston Station being filmed going to the game. It's nice to see, Sky Sports with asking all sorts of experts how they think the game's going to go. And it's nice that we're involved. So it's all good in terms of being an Arsenal fan, but I'll be celebrating we win.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you. I mean, I've been thinking about this all day. I mean, it's just like, wow, I hear that Ake is out for Man City tonight, and I'll take that as a positive. I mean, I'd like all their players to be out, to be honest, but I'm being a realist. That ain't going to happen. Obviously, it's a stupid comment, but we're up against it tonight. So I want to ask you, come to you, Connor, first, mate, on this one. Would you see Tierney starting tonight? Maybe a back five. If I put this out there the other night, Tierney, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Holding, and White as a back five.
Yep. Well, yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I'm not too fussed if we go with a back four, back five, but Tierney has to be in the squad, in my opinion. He's got to be. We need that defensive cover, especially at left back. And unfortunately, as much as I do love Zinchenko, I'm just worried if he does that. And I am worried that if we do go out with a back four and Zinchenko is at left back, I have a funny feeling we're going to play inverted football when it's not going to go well for us. Because why else would we have him at left back if we're going to be realistic? Unless it's a different tactic. But yeah, Tierney needs to be in there in my opinion. I'd be very disappointed if he's left out on the bench today because we need him, and he'd be such a crucial part of the team today. I'd personally go for a 4-2-3-1. I'm not sure if Xhaka's travelled with the team today. Maybe if someone can leave that in the comments because he was ill against Southampton, whether he travelled today. If he hasn't, I would like to see Zinchenko go into a DM role / centre mid. He can stay there. He doesn't have to be moving around. And that means we constantly have a back four. We will not be going and reverting to a back three because we've done that against City at home, and they pressed us until they caught us out, and they scored 2 great goals against us. So, listen, I'm really hoping that Tierney's in the team, but we'll wait and see. The lineup's out in 45 minutes, so I'm hoping he is, and I really am because he will make a massive difference to that defense. And we all know that Zinchenko doesn't defend the best. We know that Tierney can defend better. And in my opinion, Zinchenko is a midfielder, and I think we can all agree on that. And it would be perfect if he gets played in the midfielder role, and that means he has all the space to himself. He can move out, he can do whatever he wants. But I'm just worried if he gets to that left back position, he's gonna go out forward, leave us with that 3 at the back, and we're gonna get capitalised on that because that strike force of from the way that Pep plays, he seems to have Haaland, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Silva, and Grealish all forward, even Mahrez. So they're all on goal scoring form. So as much as our attack needs to be on form, our defense needs to be rock solid today. And it's performances like this from Rob Holding, who is going to start, in my opinion. I don't see him not starting, but he's been here long enough now. It's a player that, in my opinion, we should be looking at and thinking he knows what this game's all about. He should be putting in the best performance as he can because he was very sloppy against West Ham and Southampton. He was pretty good against Liverpool, and I thought, okay, maybe he'll carry this on the next couple of games. He wasn't that great in the last 2 games, so I hope tonight he can really step up. And last thing, quickly, a lot of people have said it, and I really do hope he does. Odegaard needs to turn up tonight because we've all seen that in the big games he can really stay back a bit. If you're the captain of Arsenal and you're the captain of this Premier League challenging team, you have got to step up as this captain. That you've been given the armband. All these legends before you have worn this armband. You have got to respect it and got to put in a captain's performance tonight and really show up. And none of this buddy stuff with Haaland. None of this, you're all right, mate. No. This is for a Premier League title, this game. And so I want to see full concentration, full aggression, and hopefully a win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling it the same as you are, mate. Kenny, the voice of reason. Give me your situation with this. I mean, I think tonight, personally, it's my opinion. I think we've got to start Tierney because we've got to have a solid left back there because I honestly fear, as Connor's quite rightly said, and people in the chat are saying, I think if we start with Zinchenko there, we're going to be left exposed, man. We're going to be, and that's going to cost us.
Well, you only have to look at some of our games, especially the games at home, where we tend to concede. We tend to concede a chance straight from the kickoff. I mean, virtually from the kickoff, where we're immediately under pressure. A lot of that's not just down to Zinchenko, it's down to the team, but it's how we shape up. We're in midfield. We're on the front foot a lot, and I think we're torn between two mentalities really. Because let's face it, no matter how much we try, we're going to concede. So like the temptation is to sort of go with an attacking team and think, you know what, let's see if we can outscore City and ride a luck. And I think if you play like that, then, you know, Zinchenko will start. But in terms of if you want to be solid, then Tierney definitely has to start that game. You know, I'm not advocating a back five, but what I am advocating is Tierney to start at left back, you know, Zinchenko on the bench. Obviously, Benjamin White starts to right back. Obviously, the centre halves is what it is. It's Rob Holding and Gabriel, and then in midfield, you know, if Garrett Jack doesn't travel, then what we are going to have to do is keep the ball. So that means under no circumstances should Fabio Vieira play in a team. You have to play Jorginho and Partey. You have to, because Jorginho is probably one of the best players around that keeps possession and keeps it ticking over. And you know, him getting the ball into Odegaard so he can create some sort of like counter attacks is going to be imperative. So Jorginho plays, and then the normal back front three plays. The thing is, it's a bit of a conundrum for me because, you know, I was speaking to my brother last week and he's of the opinion, and I tend to agree with it, that it's harsh on Trossard not getting a game, that maybe Jesus has disrupted the balance that we beginning to get with Trossard in the team. You know, because obviously when Eddie injured, Trossard became a fixture, and then we brought Jesus back mainly on reputation of his performances before the World Cup. But we've brought him back, and even though Martinelli's still playing good football and he's working his nuts off, it's not the same as it was before the World Cup. And we're beginning to get that kind of pattern and play with Trossard in that position. Another thing with Jesus as well. It's good that he scored against, you know, Leeds. It's good that, you know, he scored against Liverpool. It's good that he scored against West Ham and everything. But in terms of those chances, clear-cut chances, sometimes I look and I think, yeah, you know, you had your shooting boots on and you were like a normal number 9, you know, we would have, you know, probably nicked it against Southampton. Whereas you look at Trossard and you kind of feel that he would put some of those away. It's just an observation, but I do think that, you know, it's a good problem to have. But the thing is, our bench is going to be important, very, very, very important, because physically we're going to need our 5 subs, because there's going to be a lot of running around, chasing, you know, tracking back, game management. You know, it's players that, you know, we're going to expect Saka and Martinelli to be defensive. You know, 2 banks of 4, and then have the energy to get on the counter attack. So it's going to be a fight, but confidence will be destroyed if we concede early, because I do think heads will go down because of the fact that because Man City are such a great side, and because Haaland's playing, we get the feeling that we won't be able to ride our luck like we probably did at Anfield, you know, the London Stadium and last week. So it's an imperative that whatever chance we get, we've got to take them. And let's face it, we're going to concede anyway. So whatever chances, be it 2, 3 or 4, we've got to score all of them to win today. Because we don't, we're going to get severely punished. And it won't be, it'll be merciless. The only way Pep is going to show a bit of mercy is if in the 60th minute he takes off Haaland. But if he doesn't show mercy and we play like he did, concede like that, we're going to be very, very angry souls. at 10 o'clock today.
Mate, I'm totally agree with you. I mean, I'm getting nervous now. There's just going to say there's nearly 100 people watching this and only 33 likes. That is disgraceful, people. Come on, there's over 100 likes now. Sorry, over 100 people watching. Come on, smash them likes up. It does help the channel. And we've got Chike, who's absolutely loving it right now. I'm going 5-0 City with Haaland getting a hat-trick and breaking the Premier League goal-scoring record tonight. Also, once City win, Rance is dropping the I Told Man merch because he told everybody. Yep, that is it. I mean, tonight, guys, it's wow. I mean, I wouldn't compare this in my way. I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying on different channels that this is like
toilet break.
Oh, mate, it's like August 8. Sorry, the game in May in '89. No, that was a totally different situation. It's a massive, massive game tonight. It's one of the biggest games of the season. That is a fact. That for Arsenal, it's one of the biggest games. I mean, Conor. I mean, I know you weren't born then, but that 89 was an incredible situation. It was unique. I doubt that'll ever possibly happen again. But the fact remains is that tonight is huge, huge. And I'm give me a clue, mate. Give me a clue. You are the manager tonight, okay? Yeah. Give me your insight into. We talked about defence, possibly.
Yeah.
Views, differences. I think Jack is not travelling tonight. So would you give me your midfield breakdown? Who would you put into midfield tonight?
Well, I've just actually had a look, and unless he's there just for motivational purposes, Xhaka has travelled with the team. I've just seen pictures of him with the squad, so that's hopeful if he is. So your question was my team, did you say, Jez?
Give me your midfield. We talked about defence.
Yeah. Okay.
Briefly.
Midfield. See, it's a tricky one because it's tricky. I mean, I'd obviously go with Partey. I think that's set in stone. I know he hasn't had his last 2 games have been.
Wouldn't you put him at right back? Wouldn't you?
Jez, you suggested the other day maybe put him in goalkeeper, so maybe I might put him in there as well. Actually, drop Ramsdale again. Sorry. No, that's fine. No, I would not put him at right back. He's played there 11 times for Atletico, and I know Simeone. I think Simeone put him there because they had injuries. I don't think he was actually there for a reason. So no, I would not put him at right back, Jez. No, I think I'll pass on that. No, I'd put him at CDM. Yeah, it's a weird one. If Xhaka's obviously there, so I'll start Xhaka. I hope he keeps his cool tonight because I think if I'm right, didn't he get sent off at the 5-0? He did, didn't he, last season at the Etihad? Well, let's hope he's learned from his mistakes. I mean, come on, mate. One of the oldest players in the team, one of the more experienced players in the team. He's never really been in a title charge in terms of Arsenal, but you're old enough. You should know what you need to do if you are starting tonight. And there's been tons of talk about people putting said players into midfield, and everyone's been changing their team. It's difficult because Jorginho's had experience in the Prem. He's played City about 6 times in his career in the Prem. Would I put him in over Odegaard? I don't know, but then again, Odegaard's our attacking threat. It's really difficult. And of course, if Xhaka is there, and Tierney goes at left back, does that mean Zinchenko's dropped? I mean, it's a lot of questions. But if I was the manager and I was to put out a team today, in the case of Xhaka being ill, because I put Tierney at left back, I'm gonna stick with my gut, and I put Zinchenko in alongside Partey because of the experience he's had at Man City. He knows the players. And him in a midfield role would just work better, in my opinion, especially with controlling that midfield. And then, I would go with Odegaard. He is the captain at the end of the day. And you can drop a captain, don't get me wrong. Man United have done it with Bruno Fernandes before.
Well, Arsenal done it before, so
yeah. So you can do it, but you know we can't fault. He has been fantastic this season in sets. Unfortunately, he has not turned up in games. But come on, man, biggest game of the season, you've got to turn up for it. So I'm going to go for, if Tierney does play, Zinchenko, Partey, and Odegaard in midfield. But if Tierney doesn't play and Zinchenko's in left back, then it would be Xhaka, Partey, and Odegaard for me, the normal midfield.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm fearful of having Zinchenko at left back tonight. Kenny Ken, LB says here 4-4-2. Kenny, give me your midfield today, as you see it.
Well, you think if Jack is ill, I don't want him anywhere near that team. I only want fit players. I don't care who you are in reputation. I only want players to be 100% fit, especially in a game like this, because we're not carrying anyone. I know it's going to be hard for him. He's going to hurt him, but you know what? A good teammate doesn't let his team down. And the way he'll let his team down is if he's not 100% fit and he plays. He's not doing anyone favours. He's certainly going to do us any favours, because against 11-man Man City, we need everything to be fit, because let's face it, as much as we like to control possession, they like to do it as well. And I'm going to say this from my chest out, they've got better players than us and they're a better team than us. Doesn't mean they're going to beat us today. Doesn't mean they have to beat us today, because underdog does have its day. But a team like that, a settled team with better players than us, I only want fit players. So if that's the case, then we can't play as much as Zinchenko is very good in terms of his attacking prowess. You can't fit him in the team just to fit him in. I want a midfielder in there. I want a proper midfielder who can control possession and like I said, keep the ball and pass it accurately. And as much as Zinchenko could do that, he's not a midfielder. He's a defender there. So that's why I won't play him. If I'm leaving out Tierney, if I'm playing Tierney instead of him, then Zinchenko could do what Tierney does and stay on the bench. Because I know, like, the temptation is that to fit two excellent left backs in the team, you've got to find a way for him. Or you play one in midfield, or play him as one of the three centre halves. And try and fit him in somewhere. I'll just play the 4-3-3 and just have to, pray and play. Jorginho, please just get the ball, be the water carrier, and just pass it to Odegaard and make sure Odegaard has that vision. I know we would lose some.
Would you start Jorginho over? Would you do Jorginho, Partey, Odegaard, Kenny?
I might have to, because simple reasons that from an attacking point of view, we're not. We can sit here and say, you know what, we're going to be compact and we've got to make sure we're compact. We've proved in the last 3 games we can't do it. And we've even proved when we're winning games we just can't do it. We are what we are. We ship goals. We concede chances, and sometimes teams haven't been good enough to to punish us. But if you only have to go back as far as Brentford murdered us in the first half. They actually murdered us.
Yeah.
And then even most of the game, they were a better team. Everyone talks about, oh yeah, they didn't draw the lines and we got cheated for their goal, and we won't run their way through Trossard. The fact is, how many clear-cut chances did Brentford create? And that was in February. We haven't learnt our lesson since then. And even if we have 10 in the team and we blame Zinchenko, the fact is that that's still going to be a malaise. And that's why I think, from our point of view, I think it's better to, concentrate on the attack. It's going to be risk and reward. But we've got to remember one thing. Martinelli scored 15 goals. Saka is capable of scoring the goals. And obviously Trossard or Jesus. We have got attacking threats that can hurt City. We tend to kind of forget that sometimes. And I just think that if we try to play a compact style, I just think that, say if Tierney doesn't play and he plays Zinchenko, it can't happen, mate. It can't happen. Even against Liverpool, when we dominated possession and they looked disjointed, they still had 2 clear-cut chances. I'm really, really concerned about the way we've been playing. And I pin back I put it back all the way down to Brentford. If you wanted me to be harsh, I could put it down to the Man United game as well. But I'll stick with Brentford because that is an undisputed barometer of how we've declined as a team in terms of like defensively, because we got murdered that day and it hasn't improved. So that's why in an ideal world, even with Kieran Tierney's side, I still think the onus is on accurate passing, counter-attack, accuracy as well of taking chances. You know what I mean? Perfect passes. It can happen. It happened against Fulham, but that's Man City. They're different kettle of fish because the problem we've got with Man City, and I'm being pessimistic. Look what happened against Bayern. They had a lot of pacey players on both sides of the front three. All Man City did is that they didn't play their high line. They just kind of retreated about 5 yards, and that just blunted them. Their counter attacks and their pace, and that's another worry as well. We've got to find another way, not just a counter attack, but another way to open them up. It's going to be difficult for us because they're wise, mate. But I live in hope.
Yeah, I mean that's all we can do, Kenny. That's all we can do. I mean, we're not on the pitch tonight, and the fact of the matter is that I am still sat here positive because we have done some outrageously great performances this season. I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. I'm going to be sitting here nervous. I'm getting nervous now. I won't lie. And I've been many games, but I'm getting nervy. But good old Pete's back. Pete, Jez will be at the parade. What parade, mate? We haven't won fuck all yet. But there you are. Mate, obviously you don't run YouTube because I did my intro. So, matey, you got that one a little bit wrong, didn't you?
Because don't forget, there's meant to be a parade if we get second. Don't forget that.
Dear God, yes, I'll see.
Are we Newcastle? Are we Newcastle?
Kenny, did you hear about that? Did you hear about we're meant to be doing a parade if we get? There's people setting up a parade if we get second place.
Jesus Christ! They're only to take advantage.
Yeah.
Because bank holiday Monday the next day. That's why they want something. Someone's got to earn money in it.
An open top plus parade for coming second. Are you sure?
It can be done. All the offices are shut because it's as I said, it's Pentecost, isn't it? The Pentecost bank holiday Monday. So they've got time around. It's London Borough of Islington. I'm sure people want their overtime, but Pete, I can even say to Pete, there's I was at a West Ham game a couple of weeks ago, and a few people were booking kind of the whole day outs. People flying from America. They're going to start Exmouth market, start drinking, get a bit of a tent, and get away to the ground. And I said to them, "Is there some sort of a coronation happening that day?" And they went, "Yeah, we're going to win the league." I said, "Are we?" I said, "Just one game at a time." You know what I mean? So, Pete, you can go to Exmouth market in London, and I'm sure just put your hand up and say you're Pete Hayward, and I'm sure they'll let you in.
Yeah, Christ. Jesus Christ.
Can I throw a quick question towards Jez and Kenny, towards you both here, guys? On the quick thing of people saying, some Arsenal fans saying that second's an achievement, it's still a great season. In my opinion, even if Man United don't win the FA Cup, I feel they've had a better season than us on the face. They've won a trophy. Now, if West Ham win the Conference League, even though they've been poor in the league this season, then again they drew to us. So hey, here we go. If they win that Conference League trophy, do you reckon they've had a better season than us because they won that trophy?
Yeah, because I think for simple reasons, we haven't won a European trophy for next year. It'll be 30 years, and I think what's happening is that winning a European trophy is a massive achievement because it's probably the most difficult thing to do, winning in Europe. Because when you think about it, you're playing teams with different styles, you're playing in different time zones. You're able to travel. Like I said, a day before the game, to a foreign country and then travelling on the night to go and play a Premiership game. It's it's a hard thing to do. And, you know, these tournaments, I think the Champions League, even though the Champions League's got better quality, and I suppose in paper it's hard to win, it's probably just as difficult to win the Europa League and the Conference League because of the where they send you, you know what I mean? You know, they send you to like Central Europe, even on the borders of Asia. And, you know, it's the amount of games you've got to play in the Europa League and the Conference League. You know, if anyone should have a bus parade, it should be them if they win it. They deserve it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. Before we get into it, there's 135 people watching, only 72 likes. Come on, guys, let's get it over 100 at least, please. You know, I mean, we're here. We're before the game. We're getting nervy. I am, at least. I'm sure Conor is.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Ken will be drinking the old blackcurrant juice at the game. I'll be on the wine, that's for sure. And I know that after this game tonight, there is going to be some amazing stuff going on the YouTube. There'll be channels lit all around the world, and it will be fascinating. I'll be doing, obviously, fan cams with Kenny on Lee's, and then we do player ratings. Are you doing player ratings tonight, Kenny?
So I'm about in it because it's only when I'm not. If only when I'm not, I haven't got I'm out of town or I'm at the match. So yeah, it'd be a long one. I hope it's not. Like what do you call it? Drowning our sorrows tonight. But I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Whatever happens today, one of the biggest myths is probably going to just be dispelled, because one of the biggest myths is that if Arsenal win big games or win a big trophy, no one watches. Only want to watch us lose. And I always say that the big views when Arsenal lose don't come from Arsenal fans. They come from opposition fans. But when Arsenal win, I don't know about you, but in my experience, if Arsenal won a big game like tonight or won the European Cup, won the league, not only do you want to enjoy it, you want to repeat it all the time, and you want to see how other people interpret it. You want to see how other people are celebrating their views on it. So you watch everything. You remember when Spurs got to the Champions League final? Every Tottenham channel had about at least 250,000 views. Now, some of these channels only get about 15,000 views at best. At worst, they get about 500. But all their views went up because other Spurs fans wanted to see another Spurs fan's interpretation of that great night for them. And I think that's going to be the same tonight. We win today. Every channel is going to be lit because they want to see how we celebrate. They want to hear us talking about it. They want to see our chests out. And other Arsenal fans will be doing it because that's what I'll be doing if we win.
Yeah,
if we win. I'm watching every Arsenal content going. I'm watching Sky Sports repeats of the goals. I'm going to BT Sport. I'm going to want to hear what Arsenal fans think on it. That's how you do, because you want to share your enjoyment of a win.
Absolutely, mate. And good question here from Diego C. Palace, mate. Great to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. If he says if you get awarded a penalty, who takes it? That's a great question, man. Under that pressure, Conor, who would you take the penalty? Take the penalty?
In my opinion, it's an easy answer, and that's Jesus. He knows Ederson. He's played with him. It's a teammate, and but then again, you look at the opposite way. Maybe Ederson knows about Jesus, where he's going to go. Wow, that is an interesting question, isn't it? And again, then you look at it again. Do you let Saka take it because of the other day against West Ham? I'm going to stick with my gut, and I will say Jesus. I do think. Nice one. Do you know what? If Prince, if we win this game tonight, mate, I am giving you all the praise in the world, because my God, I think you're the only guy I've seen that really does think we're going to win tonight. So fair play to you, my friend, by the way. But I do think I'm gonna go for Jesus, just because of the history of City, and I think he'll be able to. I think his nerves may be a bit more under control than Saka's, and there's no offense to Saka. I think I want to just try Jesus. Yeah, I'd be a bit more worried, especially after that West Ham miss. Nothing against it, but
If
just
Jorginho's on there, would you not let him take it because he scored a lot for Chelsea?
yeah, that's very true. That's another player. Do you know that's a great thing, Jez? There's so many players that we can actually get to take these penalties. Like especially if we ever, which we won't this season, but if we ever had the choice of going to a penalty shootout, we've got a lot of strong options in that team to take penalties. But that's a shout as well, Jez. If Jorginho's on there, I probably would actually have him over Jesus. Taking it, to be fair. Just don't none of that hop, skip, and jump stuff. Scares the hell out of me.
Everyone does hop, stick, and jump. Everyone does hop, stick, and jump. I mean, Bruno Fernandes does hop, stick, and jump. And then, did you see the penalties from Man United? Rashford now. Rashford just blasted, but even now he has a little bit of a stutter. Then he takes it, and I think that's the way in it. Goalkeepers are just so good now. They know everything about a striker. Like, for instance, if you look at the 6 penalty takers in any penalty shootout, they all got their notes. I mean, how the hell do these goalkeepers know where a player's going to take it when I've never seen some of these players take penalties. Remember, did you see De Gea? When he was before every Brighton penalty, he was just looking at his notepad in his gloves and then went and took it. He never got near any of them, but goalkeepers nowadays, I think it's hard to score a penalty nowadays. Or is it because whenever there's a penalty, they make the goal as small as possible for us TV viewers?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
You notice the World Cup when during the World Cup penalty shootout, it's like we know that the ground's rectangle, but all of a sudden it was just like a little square, little box, and you're thinking, nah, he's going to miss.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. It's a very good point. I just want to move on with this one. Will we really? Okay, no, I'll rephrase it. I'm going to give you my. I'm going to give you my team lineup. Okay, this is my team lineup, and let's see what people think. Firstly, I'm going to go 5 at the back. I'm going to go Tierney, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Holding, White. I'm then going possibly ESR out on the left if Xhaka is not played, or maybe Reece Nelson. Odegaard and Partey, I beg your pardon, and Saka. And then I'm going to go with Odegaard, obviously, there. No, let me change that again. I'm going to go Xhaka, if he's played, or ESR, Reece Nelson, option. Odegaard, Partey, Saka, and then I'm going to go Martinelli and Jesus. Connor, would you change anything there, or would you? I mean, I'm sure you would. You would.
The problem with that I'm thinking about it, Jez, if I go for a 5 at the back, I'm feeling like we're going too defensive. I'm too worried about that because realistically, I want to go there to win, ideally, obviously. I don't know with a 5, but then again, you've put in really good attacking options in that 5 at the back, to be fair to you. So then again, we've probably. Do you know what? That's probably a good. It's difficult. Once this lineup comes out, I think I'll have a bit of relief in the sense because we all week it's different lineups here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, I mean, again. And then again, I listened to Kenny's point earlier about, if we have Tierney and don't want Zinchenko and either, and I can agree with that. And especially with the Xhaka thing as well. Do you know what? I may have to switch up a bit. Do you know what? I'm going to stick with a 4-2-3-1 in my opinion. Everyone's talking about different things, so my mind's going a bit all over the place. But I'm going to go for Ramsdale, Ben White, Rob Holding. Please put in a shift today. Please, Rob, put in a shift today, mate. Show the people what you're made of. You've been there for long enough. Gabriel, Tierney, and I am going to go for Jorginho and Partey because it will really lock in that defensive midfield because we've got enough attack anyway in Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Jesus. And then you've got the players, I completely agree with Kenny, you've got the players like Zinchenko on the bench, like Trossard, who can make a massive impact. And quick thing now, I really hope Arteta's good with his substitutions today because that could be a major hit. Because by God, if I'm seeing substitutions in the 75th minute, I'm fuming. I really am fuming because it's stuff. We've seen multiple times this season when we're on bad performances, but we do end up winning some of them, especially this season. It's always to do with the timing of the substitutions, and Mikel's got a really bad take on them. He'll leave them to so late, and I hope he doesn't make them stupid decisions of bringing Kivior on for an attacker like we did against Liverpool, because that was ridiculous. Today, and it's no offense against them, I want to see no Kivior and no Fabio Vieira, and preferably no Nketiah either, because in my opinion, they're just not for it, in my opinion, especially today. You know, I would like to see Reece Nelson make an appearance. I wouldn't mind seeing Smith make an appearance, but it's substitutions are going to be massive today, because we've actually got players that can come on and really make a difference. And Trossard, in my opinion, it's fantastic that we've got Trossard, because he can realistically play anywhere in that front four. You know, he can play cam, he can play on the wing, he can play striker if he really wants to. And even when he's on the pitch, he's everywhere. You know, you can't really catch him, and that's one thing I like about Trossard is he really does give defenders a tough time, especially even midfielders, because I watch him and he's always everywhere. He's never just in one place. He's all over the place, but in a good way. You know, if that makes sense. And that's what I really like about him. And a player like that, such an impactful sub, can come on. But I'm going to go for a 4-2-3-1. Like I said, the normal back line we've had normally, apart from Tierney at left back, Jorginho and Partey in the DMs, just to really hold it. Jorginho's got the experience. And I agree, if Xhaka's been ill, I'd rather have an 100% Xhaka than a Xhaka that's been ill throughout the past couple of days. So I agree with Kenny on that as well. And then Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka, Jesus up front, and then big players on the bench that we can bring on if we need.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great lineup you put out there. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
Fair play, Kenny Ken. Give me your options, mate. I mean, I don't think I'm being defensive in 5. I think I'm trying to shore it up, because I think recently we've been a little bit weak. But can you give me your view?
I think what it is that one of the things we got on our favour, if he plays well, is thank God we got someone like like Partey. If he has to play well, if he plays out of his skin, we've got half a chance. If he plays poorly, we've had it, mate. He is so important because he's going to
right back, Kenny. Partey right back.
Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. You know, sometimes, right? You know, I know there's some managers out there who just want to be seen as geniuses. The fact is that he is going to play the 4-3-3. He is going to try and play inverted because he thinks that he's going to get the best out of the team. But Thomas Partey's got to be at his best. And you know, there's going to be times when players have to make sacrifices because he can't do it in his own. Because no way you want a situation where players are not going to help him. Sometimes they're going to have to make sacrifices. You know, Rob Holding as well is going to need a bit of help because let's face it, Haaland's left-footed. He's going to come down Rob Holding's side. Let's forget it. Let's just cut the BS. We all know how Haaland plays. He plays centre forward, but he tends to favour his right foot. He tends to come in from favour his left foot. He tends to come down the left. So Rob Holding again is going to need a bit of help. Is going to be the main, and he's got to play well today. So the key players for me are Rob Holding and Partey, because let's face it, we could put a square peg around a round hole, but the minute we play Gabriel in that position against Haaland, we're going to get murdered. Gabriel is not a right-sided centre half. Rob Holding is a left centre half, but he can play the right hand side of the centre half. Gabriel can't. So those are just kind of keys. But in terms of midfield, Partey, if Jack is 100% fit, he plays. If he's not 100% fit, I'm sorry, but I can't trust Fabio Vieira. He's got no confidence. We killed his confidence on Friday. You should have heard what they were saying about him in the crowd. It wasn't pleasant. And the worse debut's got, the worse he performed. Can't play him. It's got to be a midfielder. I know probably if El Neni is fit, I know some people would have thought, he probably would have put El Neni alongside Partey because of El Neni's work rate. But in terms of like keeping the ball, Jorginho for me, Odegaard's got to play because he'd be further forward. And then, in terms of left back, I'm going to get Zinchenko sit this one out because I don't trust him.
No,
From a defensive point of view. And let's face it, for us to win, it's going to be we're going to have to mix up between attack and discipline. But we can always get our attack in a different way if we can get if we get Tierney coming down the left hand side and playing orthodox. If he tries to play inverted like Zinchenko, we're going to get smashed to pieces. The instruction is that if you play Tierney, get him a place to his strengths, or don't play him at all. If you want to play inverted, then don't play Tierney.
It's exactly what he done against West Ham. That's exactly, and it was very clear on that day that it's not just Zinchenko wanting to do it; it's an Arteta tactic.
It's an Arteta instruction.
Yeah, and if we do that today, Kenny, if I see that in the first 10 minutes, game's done. In my opinion, it generally will be done.
So if you're playing Tierney, he's got to be a situation where him and Gabriel are on the down the left. Gabriel's helping Tierney, where Tierney's taking a risk and getting down that right and overlapping and creating a four. That's how I look at it. Creating a four in attack. So we have and that's the only way we're going to be able to do this. We ain't going to do this inverted because all that's going to happen is Kevin De Bruyne is going to say, "Thanks, mate. I'm going to come out the middle. I'm going to go down that right hand side, and I'm going to be because there's a lot of space for me to operate. It's simple. He'll be putting his crosses from the right. He won't come down the left. He'll come down the right, and he'll be just attack after attack down that right hand side. Kevin De Bruyne putting quick balls in. Haaland's got a chance and a half, but again." We talk about Kevin De Bruyne. Let's not forget Jack Grealish is playing good football as well. Jack Grealish is probably justified his £100 million fee from last season. He's justified it. He's playing out of his skin. He's going to be dangerous.
There's Mahrez as well. He's playing
Mahrez
fantastic.
Well. He may not even play. We don't know. He could play Alvarez alongside Haaland, and even then, and we know that Alvarez is going to go down that occupy those right channels. So again, whoever they play, it's going to, they're all going to be able to, create problems, and that's why we have to be. As much as we want us to be pitch perfect defensively, we know we're going to concede. So the onus is on, from a positive point of view, make sure we occupy the defence. Pray that they played the high line. Anytime City play the high line, win the ball back quickly. Get the ball down, get the ball through the middle, and get our players going forward. Yeah. Because there's going to be times when they are going to play the high line, because that's the temptation is going to try and play so they can try and catch us offside, and because they want to be in control of the ball. So anytime at high line, we've got to be alert and get Saka and Martinelli on their bikes.
Yep.
Simple.
Facts, mate, on that one. And I'm just going to quickly say, 150 odd people watching, just got over 100 likes, so that's good. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. I'm going to wrap this up very, very shortly because I'm going to have to go and eat something.
We're 5 minutes away from the lineup, Jez. We're 5 minutes away from it, so we might as well.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous. Conor, are you nervous?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I'm nervous, but I'm not hyping myself up for it. Because in my head, in my heart, I'd love to win. But in my head, I'm looking at it. And on many factors, we've been fantastic in most games this season. And like Kenny said, City have the better team, guys. We've got to face the facts. They do have the more world-class players, the more experienced players, and in my opinion, the better team at the moment. And they do play very good football. We are one goal behind them in terms of amount of goals scored this season, which I think is crazy, by the way. I think we've scored how many odd goals? 70 odd goals this season. It's been crazy. They do have a better defensive record than us in terms of goals conceded. Listen, at the end of the day, and I've said this quote many a times, if we want to win like champions, we've got to play like champions. That's as simple as that. We've everyone in that dressing room before the game has got to be locked in. When they're walking out of that tunnel, I want no hellos from any of the Man City players. None of that. Like I love watching, because obviously I wasn't born. I love watching old clips of Arsenal, and especially the iconic clip of Keane and Vieira in the tunnel, proper going at it. And that's the stuff I love to see, you know, and I wish I was alive for it, but I love watching that stuff. And that's the stuff I really want to see nowadays. You know, I don't think we do see it enough. And but that's what I want to see, you know, heads focused. We know the goal. We know what we want. It's going to be a tough battle. But if we concede in the first 15, 20, I'm not hopeful, guys. I think the way I can see us getting through is if we score first, in my opinion. But I think we'll see what happens in the first 10. We'll tell how this game's going to probably go in terms of tactics. We'll probably even tell by the lineup. You know, I keep looking at the time on my top right. I want this lineup, man.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
I want to see what's going on, man. But
hey,
yeah,
you know someone's leaked it already. You know someone's going to leak it
Oh,
before.
100%. Of course they have. But I don't check Twitter or any of that stuff. But yeah, to answer your question, Jez, I'm very nervous. I'm probably going to be arms on my knees while I'm watching the game, you know. But listen, what will be will be. We'll be here in 2 hours. We'll all be 3 hours even. Sorry, and we'll make a debate then, and we'll really.
It's going to be an amazing night. I'll tell you what, it's going to be an amazing evening all round because there's going to be so many streams going on and everything. And Prince fouled. The process is over. It's time to shine tonight. Come on, the Arsenal. Yeah, where was this process? What was it then? Go on, mate.
The process has been over this season since we've been challenging. That, you know, the process was always to for us to challenge. You know, people can say what they like. It's like, you know, like I said, a lot of people will like to say, "Oh yeah, we don't have, you know, we're ahead of schedule." We're not ahead of schedule.
Guys, the lineup's out. The lineup's out
already.
Yeah. Okay.
I got it. I need your help with it then.
In goal, Ramsdale. The defence is Ben White, Rob Holding, Gabriel, and Zinchenko.
Oh God!
It's a 4-3-3. It's a 4-3-3 midfield of Partey, Xhaka, and Odegaard, and front three of Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli.
Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew?
I'm worried about that defence. I am worried about that defence.
So we are going to go inverted. Then I'll tell you one thing. We better be
at left back, and there's no sign of Tierney. So unless he's on the ball, I haven't seen the bench, but that's the line.
If we're going inverted, we've got to be on the front foot. Then we've got to be on the front foot. It's simple.
Okay. I'm worried because that means we're going. I can't. There's no reason why we're not going inverted with Zinchenko at left back, and that just makes me think. Oh my God, we've been playing 3 games against them beforehand, or 2. Sorry, we've already played them in the FA Cup and at home. We've been inverted twice. It's not going to work a third time. No. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. But we'll wait and see. Wow.
Oh my days. When will they?
Sky Sports is just about to come on, isn't it? So I'm sure they're going to have to see that. Sky must be kicking themselves that they allowed BT Sport to have this game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I think it will probably be because this has got to be one of the highest viewed games of the season. It's got to be, right? It's got to be one of the highest viewed games. Yeah, wow.
Oh, mate. I'm just going to take it on the chin like you do. Verdant says, will there be a post-match stream? I will do one tomorrow. I won't tonight because I will be very busy on Lee's channel with Kenny Ken doing the fan cam.
Before we go, the Man City team is out. It's Edison, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Akanji, Goodwin, Grealish, Rodri, De Bruyne, Silva, and Haaland. That's the Man City team. The Arsenal team's going to come out any minute now. Officially, that
sounds like a different team, yeah.
Ramsdale, White, Holding, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. So you got it a bit earlier than us, but that's the team.
City from what I'm seeing, City have just put in Kyle Walker, obviously because they originally had no fullbacks because obviously Ake was out, and so Akanji's obviously on that left.
Kyle Walker for Martinelli, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kyle Walker for Martinelli.
I don't get the whole Stones and CDM thing. I don't understand that. Pep's formation really confuses me. I don't get it. But yeah, that's a bit of a crazy one. And yeah, Tierney's on the bench. Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Trossard, Jorginho. Yeah, the normal lot. And they've got the likes of Alvarez, Mahrez, and Foden on the bench. So it's
nice.
We'll wait and see.
Oh, mate. Right. Yeah. Mr. B for life. Thank you, mate, for your donation. Always very grateful, mate. Thank you very much. You should trust that clown in charge. Yeah. Well, there we go. Guys, just going to say, a lot of new people in the chat tonight. A lot of people watched. If you're new here, if you watch, please sub. It helps the channel. Thank you all the 114 likes. Over 150 watching at one point. That's amazing. Thank you very much. I will be doing a match reaction show tomorrow evening at some point, or maybe early doors. I don't know yet. But it's going to be an interesting evening, that's for sure. Probably, I would say right now, probably one of the biggest games of the season for a midweek game. You don't often get games like this midweek. That is for sure. So, Connor, shout yourself out, mate. You're doing great stuff. You're going big at the moment on your graphic stuff. So fair play to you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jez. Great stream. I'm looking forward to the game now. Of course, Kenny Ken, absolute legend. Thank you very much for having me on. I do editing for a lot of people on YouTube, and I'm a freelancer, so feel free to hit me up. I do all different types of graphic work on social medias or YouTube. So feel free to message me on Instagram. It's CMO.editing. Feel free to message me, and in the DMs, I'm happy to talk to absolutely anyone. Don't matter what club you're from or what you do for YouTube or anything. I'm happy to help absolutely anyone. So yeah, thank you very much again, Jez, for having me on. We'll see what we're all saying at 10 o'clock, eh? We'll see what we're all saying.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Right. You're always well. Kenny Ken, shout yourself out, mate, and then we're going to get into. Oh my God!
Well, it's going to be prayer. I think for some people it's dinner time, and people to do the team previews on their particular handles. But I'm praying. But whatever happens. We got this far. We challenged, and if we're good enough. And we want this championship. We've got to come. We've got no excuses. None of this. Oh, well, it's all right. It's bad to happen. Sorry, mate. If you're winners, then this should be like a walking. This should be a game that you should relish.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Great question. That's a great question.
I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna have some dinner before I get nervy, too nervy. I'm getting nervy, and I'm looking forward after the game to see Arsenal win. I'm positive. My head tells me one thing, my heart tells me something else. But I just wish I was at that game tonight. It's going to be a massive atmosphere. Fair play to the Arsenal faithful who travelled up there.
Before we go, I'm so glad that we got Saka's got his own song now. I'm sick and tired of that.
Was he? He has his own song now.
Yeah, it's basically David Bowie song. We got a star boy playing all right. He's managed by Kyle Saka, and he's fucking dynamite. Sorry, Jeff.
That's class. That's class. Yeah, no, I was sick of that. Because he does it unless they're both on the pitch. There's no point of singing that ESR and
exactly.
Saka one. Yeah. About time as well. Love that. Love that.
God bless his soul, David Bowie. But thanks for that tune.
Well, I'm going to call it, guys. I'm going to call it. Thanks everybody for watching, smashing the likes up. Thank you so much. And if there's any new subs, that'd be amazing. Thank you, Connor. I subbed to your friend's channel.
Thank you.
You got a load of subs today, I think. Yeah, Kenny Ken, mate, thanks for coming on, as you always are, the voice of region, the legend that you are. And I'll be speaking to you later, Kenny, on the player ratings on Lee Gunner's channel. And
100%.
we'll see about that.
It's no good going to bed. I think we're going to be a late one.
It will be.
It will be. Yeah.
It will be. Luckily, I don't have to get up for work in the morning, so I don't care.
I do.
I do as well.
And if it goes on till 2 in the morning, I really don't care. But I hope it doesn't. I'll be absolutely off the tree by then. But thanks for everybody for watching, liking. I always try and the three of us have done, I think, a great job tonight. We put it out there. We've been honest. We've said what we've said, and it is what it is, guys. I'm out of here. Connor, Kenny, thank you, mate. And there we go.